please understand, we are going down here. Now the username and password, write it down. So it will be easier for us to later on use, okay? Because you will be logging to this machine. So I'll use a username test user, and I'll use password test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's do it properly. Please understand, username and password you have to remember, because without that we'll not be able to access it. Good so far? Now here I'm going to allow multiple ports because I can use this machine for web server and all. So I'm going to allow multiple ports here. Ideally, we shouldn't be allowing SSH, but because it's a Windows machine, we'll be mostly using RDP. It will ask me, do you really have license? I'll say check, no problem, and check here, no problem. So do check. So whenever you have Mac versus Windows issue, you just use one VM and play with the Windows machine, treat your machine in a cloud. No, I'm in the first page. I select the port here, and first page, I'm not in a disk yet. I did all. Okay, so far, so good. Now the disk part will come here, which we want to discuss further here. Okay, this is our point of interest. Now, please understand. Here, the first is the operating disk. So please understand type of disk, right? One is the operating disk. Now, operating disk perspective, you can see here the size we are using is quite significant lower. The reason we are doing that because it costs us significant money because it's SSD, right? So there are a lot more. As you increase, cost will significantly increase. We don't need that. So majority team, what they do, operating system, they keep it smaller, but data disk they can increase. So right now we are not changing anything. We'll keep it default. This type, now this is the cost perspective. So just to give idea. So in a production, mostly people use premium in production. Now, you can see a local redundancy storage, data is replicated in a single data set, but this premium SSD is normally expensive than standard. So if you are using production one, then you use premium, otherwise standard is fine. For time being, I'm using SSD as a premium, but in a production, normally you definitely use premium. They are, just to give idea, standard, if you are using maybe $50, $45, this bill may cost $75. It's like almost 1.3 or 1.4 times expensive. Premium give you better output. Now, if you see here, this is the what thing. These disks which you just created, do you want to delete when VM is deleted? Normally we want to do it, but otherwise we will not know. So it will otherwise cost you money. So this is like, just like in a AWS, we do EBS, similar like that. So it's a check is always good. Why? Because when we destroy your VM, that disk is supposed to be destroyed because there is nothing we are doing specifically. It's operating system. Now, if you scroll down, this is where our magic starts. Data disk, right? Data disk. Now you should see that there is no disk right now. We are going to create a disk and then we'll attach that disk to the VM. Go easy, don't go too fast, okay? Because it's very important. So first we're gonna say create, attach a new disk. You're with me, right, so far? Okay. So click on create, attach new disk. We're gonna click on it, okay? So when you click on it, it will give me options. What kind of options you want? So right now, source type, I'm gonna keep it none, right? There are many, but we'll keep it none because we are not using blob or anything. We'll say none, empty disk. Size, if you want to have, click on size if you want, different sizes you have. Each one has a different way. Again, you have to think about why you are using this disk, right? Some of you are using maybe data, some of you are using some kind of application. Depend on your need, sometimes iOS sensitive or sometimes other, retrieval or all. You can decide that. Right now we are not changing it. So I'll say, okay. Now, key management. Ideally, when you do the disk, if you are doing Azure manage, it is important that let them manage it. We are not changing here. Now, please understand this disk, which I'm going to do, what we are saying, I want to add premium SSD LRS. Okay, premium SSD LRS. I want to add here. This is my VM. Please pay attention. This is my VM. My VM has operating system, and this disk will be added later on, but it won't be right away added. I need to do some kind of steps, and that is what we want to learn. And then we'll also detach also. So question is, interview question. When you add or detach data disk, do you need to restart the VM? Answer is no. When you attach or detach data disk, do you need to restart the VM? Answer is no. But if you are changing the operating system disk, resizing, they use word in the exam, resizing. In that case, VM will go through shutdown. Do you see the difference? Data disk on fly. This is called hard swap. What we call hard swap. Hard swap means you can change at any time. So data disk, you can anytime add or detach, and I'll show you. But this one, the swap part, machine will go through restart. Question. I create a VM. I use operating system disk X size, and I want to change later. Can I? Answer is yes. The only thing is it will go through restart. Make sense? So it's not like the end of the world. Oh my God, I can't do it. Right. So now, yes.
Selected this question that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Want to make sure. Mm-hmm. So you selected the VM as available. So you selected disk as LRS.
We selected only one, right? Zone is one. I mean, sorry, I didn't catch your question.
Zone, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That means VMs are put up in multiple.
Yes.
Places.
No. So right now, my VM is only one because I'm not doing multiple availability set or availability zone. Yeah. I'm not, VM is there, but I have my, remember, in LRS also I have 3 copies.
If you are doing VM set, you can do LRS.
Yeah, in that case, you will use GRS. So please understand, this is the most important thing we are doing. Okay. Now let's do okay. So it will show me this option. Now see.
Select this.
Where did you see that? This one? I did not check anything. Sorry? No. Are you talking about this option, right? Let me just explain this. If you are creating a disk, this is a data disk. Please pay attention. This is the data disk. Do you want others to also use at the same time? If yes, you can do that. Delete disk with VM means when you delete the VM, do you want to delete? You shouldn't do that because this is reusable data. The problem will, if you destroy that, you will also destroy the data, which the reason we are doing data disk is for redundancy and durability. If you accidentally delete you don't want to do that. So, but you can intentionally come and delete, which is the purposeful delete, right? We don't want to accidentally delete that. Right? I didn't select anything. Now, if you come here, see here, there are options available. Yeah, so you can see here, this is options caching. So by default, we do real caching, right? We don't do caching, right? Because there is no. Now, keep it like that. Go to next. Networking and all, I don't think we will change anything as per my understanding. So we'll keep it like that. I don't think we need to do anything here. So let's continue management. This is also, we are not doing anything. So let's go to monitoring. And I think everything will be straightforward. So let's do review and create now. Review and create. It may take a minute or two, and then you will have a VM ready. My review went well, and now I'm going to do create. So far, are you guys with me? right? People on phone, give me thumbs up that you are with me so far. Good, perfect. Rajan, good. So it may create a couple of minutes. Meantime, I want to take this time and go further a little bit. Meantime, we are going to create a storage account. Please understand. We are going to create a storage account. So what is storage account and why, how it works? So storage account is a container. Inside that you have many options. These are different type of storage. One is a blob. One is the blob storage. What is blob? If you read in English, it's called binary length of object. Basically anything. So, large object, sorry. Anything you can store, right? Anything you can store. Store like example, files, pictures, data, Word document, PowerPoint. It does not understand what you're storing. So that's why they call binary. It doesn't have a concept of like knowledge about this, what type of application data or what type of storage you are doing. Just you can store anything. This is like mostly for, backup, storage, anything you want, you can do that. Binary large object, yep. The second one is the file. The file share, which we are going to use, I'll show you also. So file share is when normally in company, when you buy a laptop or something or get a laptop, you get just like you get your X drive or A drive or C drive, it's just like normal hard drive. You also get one more drive called map drive. Some company will have a Z drive and all. That map drive, which is the file share. So what will happen? Anything you write on this drive, which will automatically write in a cloud. That's called file share. Most of you will have company specific one shared drive, which most of the team members are using. The benefit as file share, it will treat like as a window drive. So you can add it, you can update it, you can other share it. Most people use that. So what's the difference between blob versus file share? Blob, the way you use this one, you are using just like a Windows assembly protocol, which is very simple, like just like a window. This one you don't use that way. So blob access is quite different. Blob you can access through certain type of REST API or through some CLI, but it's not like a just Windows Explorer. So file share works just like a Windows Explorer. C drive, D drive, you can create a folder, you can create a file, you can share it. So mostly if you want file sharing, you will use that. Just for your knowledge purpose, file sharing internally use blob. But it created a little bit abstract layer, which will allow you to share file, especially between users, between VM machine. So if somebody asks between blob versus file share, which one you can mount, then you can mount file share. The attached disk, which we did it's very similar as a file share. But here you are creating additional way that file share and you can mount it, which we will also learn. So far, so good. The third one is table. So think about Excel file. If you have data in Excel, and if you want to make that data available as a NoSQL type of thing without any structure, you want to make that data available, you can create a table. Now this is normally application use. So like example, I have customer data, like customer order, customer preference and all, and I want to cache that data, or I want to make a query and get the data. Everything is a flat one Excel file. There is no joins, there is no specific schema. You can have one line where you have 5 columns, or you can have one line with 10 columns. So this way, it's easy. Those who want to read the data, think about Excel. There is nothing special on that, but it is kind of very similar to SQL, but it is not a real SQL. It allows row by row different columns. So that is a table storage. And the last but not least is the messaging aspect, which is called queue. So message or queue. So what happens is, let me explain. If you have one application, which we call provider, and there is another application, which is called consumer. Please pay attention. So provider wants to communicate to consumer. Listen carefully, but they both are not up at the same time. So example, provider want to communicate message, let's say 5 messages they want to communicate. They want to communicate 5 messages, but consumer is down that time. So they cannot communicate. So Azure gives you the way you can have a service where you can add your messages And this message doesn't have any dependency on consumer. Provider can add the messages, and then consumer, whenever consumer comes, they can start reading the message from the queue, first in, first out, first in, first out. So this is giving you decoupling. This gives you decoupling between provider and consumer. And again, provider can write message whenever they want, consumer want to read message whenever they want. So whenever you want asynchronized communication, we call async. When you need asynchronized communication, this is one of the most popular thing. In industry, we call messaging, or we call messaging architecture, middleware architecture. The reason we do that, because the provider can work independently and consumer work independently. And between that, the messages you can write. The benefit of that, every message you write will not be lost. Second thing is, now provider can write thousands of messages, and consumer can be various type of consumer can read messages also. So that gives you decoupling. At the same times, you can scale better, because this guy can write the message and they can do something else, while these guys, whenever they want, they can do message also. So there are 4 levels of things we will have: blob, file share, table, and queue. Yes.
Really, these 4 types are really about.
It's not
about the type behind the scenes. It's really
you can say that, but what do you call messaging part? It's very, very important, because architecture perspective. Think about when I'm talking to you, you block me because I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to other, right? So in that case, async is very powerful. These two, blob and file share, are very similar. Technically speaking, they are almost similar. File share allows just a protocol access. Protocol access different, but table is very different actually. So think about your Excel, entire Excel in memory. It's kind of good thing, right? So we all know like how to read column and row. So table allows you query API. So you can easily read, you can search quickly. So it's kind of how you access the data. Make sense? Good.
You as a different.
Right. It's just more access part. Okay, so let's create okay, it's done right now. So let's go through VM then. So right now my VM is ready. Let's go to resources. And then we'll try to connect it. So if you click on connect, we are going to connect with RDP. Okay. And I'm going to download the RDP file. I'm going to download the RDP file and then try to connect. Make sure you use your username and password. And my password is, I wrote it down so I can cut and paste and see if you are able to connect. Give me thumbs up if you are able to connect. It means first step is good. And just say yes. People on phone, are you guys able to connect? Sorry? Why it is failing? Because this is important exercise, because my 3 exercises depend on this. Mike and Silas and Priyank, are you guys able to connect?
Yes, my works.
Perfect, perfect. Good, Rajan? Good, awesome. Now, Ola, what's the issue? Because this is our primary lab, because if this works, then I can do other activity. Otherwise, I may have trouble. Okay. So if it asks, I'll say network, yes, no problem. So what you are expecting, if I go to my file explorer, what you are expecting, will I get my data disk? Yes or no? If I click here, so you can see right now, I don't see that. See, I have my operating system and this is my gift, which Microsoft Azure gave, right? Temporary storage, but I don't see my disk. Sorry?
It's not bound.
No, no, it has nothing to do with it. I have to do proper justice because right now, the RDP though means you need RDP, right? Because without RDP you cannot go. Without RDP you cannot connect. But I'm not able to see this. Why? Because whenever you bring the fresh disk, you do need to format that. You need to initialize that. Your computer knows there is a disk, but it is not able to show. It's not consumable yet. Make sense or not? So how do we do that? Let's do step by step. So follow the flow. Insert, write computer management. Just write a computer management. It will be a little slower. Yeah, like that. You see the computer management? So far, so good. Type computer management. Now click on it. It will be a little bit slow because we are remote and internet, but it will be fine. Now, as soon as I come here, I see one option called disk management. And as soon as I click, it will detect that there is a disk. You will see that. It will prompt me there is a disk. So you can see, right? Did you see that? Did it prompt you? It says there is a disk 2 is there. It's waiting for your initialization. So we're going to say, okay. Did you see that? Just click on disk management. Right? Okay. Now, if you do okay, it's now visible. Now you can see there is a white space here because it's not formatted yet. You right click on it and just say new simple volume. New simple volume. New simple volume and follow next. There is nothing special to do. Just follow the next. And now you finish. And as soon as you finish, your computer will now show that disk on your Explorer. So give a couple of seconds and it will show up. Visible? Yes or no? People on phone? Your disk is visible now? Good. Now, if you want to remove the disk, same concept, go to your here. And the first thing you do is whatever disk 2 you have, you right click on that and bring the disk offline. Bring the disk offline. Doable? On your computer management, here, disk 2, you right click this and say offline. When you do offline, what will happen? Now your computer is saying you can do whatever you want. You can detach it now. So if I can say offline, that is gone, right? So now you can see here, it won't be visible here. Ola, any problem? Yeah, right click on disk 2 and say offline.
So what we have done is basically mount.
We mounted. So basically you can mount as many disks you want. So at least you can go for 10 disks easily. Ola, you are with me? Because you might be doing somewhere else. Did you go to disk management, sir? Disk 2, right click and like that, you will have an option here. Here. Yeah. Make sure you do it right way. Otherwise it won't be there visible. Okay, so that is done. Now let's go to our Azure portal. Let's go to our Azure portal because in Azure portal, go to disks here. Go to in Azure portal where your VM is, just go to disk. And here we need to do detach. So here you can see this is still, Azure is still thinking this is there. So there is a detach options. Make sure you detach and it will, sorry? Yeah, so go to disk. Here in disk, yes, yeah. And then you can click on that and then say detach, so you discard that. So here you detach and then apply. Let me show you again one more time. This icon is there, right? Click on it. And once you do that, just apply. So now it's gone.
See the disk option. Storage account.
You are in a Windows disk VM, right? You were. You don't have disk, this one? We are in a VM, right? Windows VM, we have to have, right? We just created the new VM, right? Good so far. Okay. You can, if you have a problem, go to resource group then. Go to resource group. Did you see? Okay.
Go to Windows VM.
And then disk is on the left side, right? And
you go to the VM.
correct, because we were in VM, right? And then if you have a disk here, you just should detach and then apply. Yeah, detach and apply and you're done. So one lab is clear. Any questions so far? How to add data disk? Did you restart the VM? No. Can you add anytime? Can you detach? I can do many times as I want. Now we are going to do file sharing. Okay. So what is file sharing? So please pay attention. It's kind of same thing what we did, but here you attach disk. Inside disk here, please understand what we're going to do. We are going to create a storage account. Please, everyone, make sure you attend. These are easy lab of, if you ask me. If you do it, if you pay attention, if you do it, you will be able to do. So first we'll create a storage account. Please see on the screen. The more you understand, easier it will become. And from there, we're going to create a file share. We're going to create a file share. Once we create a file share, it will give me options, a command, PowerShell command. I can get the command, and using this command, I'll go to my Windows machine. Please pay attention. There is no point to not understand because this is 15% exam, right? This command, which is a PowerShell, using this PowerShell, I will mount this file share. So this command, Azure always gives me. So using this command, I'll go to my Windows VM. And then on a PowerShell, Windows VM PowerShell, admin PowerShell, I will run it. And if as soon as I run, now my computer will have a shared drive. If I add a file here, that file will be available to my cloud file share. Are you understanding? So it is just like a disk, but in a disk, you create that disk. Here, we are not creating disk, we are creating a file share to Azure storage. So first we need to create a storage account. In storage account, we are going to create a file share. So let's start with step by step. It's pretty simple exercise. I'm sure you will like it. So let's get started. So search storage account, search storage account, click on it. Now, when you click on storage, you will create a storage. Make sure you click on create storage. Hola, my friend, you're with me. So click on create. Now, when you are creating a storage, you do need a resource group. So we'll select the resource group RC6. So when we delete, we can delete everything at the same time. Make sure you select the same resource group, which we did before. Now it is asking storage account. So please read this thing. This will be a question in your exam. You cannot randomly use storage account. This has to be unique globally. So make sure you use something globally. So I use something, my own name and 1, 2, 3, something like that, but it has to be unique. You cannot type what I type because only one person can have that. So make sure.
Across all of Azure.
Yes, it's globally.
Subscription.
Yeah, it's a globally. So that's why you and me cannot have same name, right? So use, I think, just like Mike mentioned last time, use something. So I'll create a temp storage. Somewhere I will use my name and 1, 2, 3 like that. So it will be unique. You can use similar way. Now here, performance perspective, what kind of use? I'll use standard right now because most scenario. and if it's a latency. So let's talk about latency. So first of all, what is latency means to you? If somebody says latency, what thing comes in your mind? Very good. So like example, please see, there will be a question in the exam. It's very simple to understand. If you want to access your data, how fast you want to get data, right? If you want fast, very, very fast, then you are saying that I want low latency. I want low latency. So example, if I'm doing database work, do I want high latency or low latency? Low. What is low latency means? Fast. Low latency means fast. So if you're doing database work, I want fast result. If I'm doing some critical activity, like example, SAP HANA or SAP thingy, then I need a fast, so low latency. So as you use low latency, cost will increase. For example, if I'm sharing my photo, do you need low latency or it's okay? What do you think? Okay, right? But let's say I have taken a backup. If I have taken a backup for my hard drive, and how frequently I'll use my backup? Maybe once in a year. Do I need a low latency or very, very slow? It's okay, right? So they give you options here. Please pay attention. They give you option. First option is hot. Hot means instantly you get it. You request item, you get. Then they give you option called cool. Means it's it takes a little time. Then they give you another option called cold. It will take a little more time. And then they give you options archive. Means it will take more time. Here, the cost is significantly lower. Here, cost is high. So if you want live data, you will use hot option, which is better. I'll show you how to select and all. If you want, like sometimes, very cheap, you do archive. They also give you LCM, life cycle management. Life cycle management. So through life cycle management, you can write that if I don't use file, please pay attention. These are very important topic. If you don't use file for X time from you define, let's say example, I define 30 days. If I did not touch, then it should automatically move to cold tier. This is called storage tier. So it should move to cold tier, storage tier automatically. It will save cost. And if you do the similar thing here, if I did not use this file for maybe 30 days, it should go to cold like that. So this way you're not losing data, but you're making significantly cost saving. So in exam, they will ask you if you have a need to retrieve data much faster speed, what kind of storage tier would you use? So fast means hot. And if you have backup something, what are you going to use? Archive. Make sense? We talk about. Now, if you see here redundancy, this is where our topic was, Rajan. If you think about redundancy, so you can see here, first one is a low cost. Basic options, right? But React drive failure recommended for non-critical, right? This is what development asks. So intermediate option failover in a secondary region recommended for backup scenario. So this is for backup. Zone redundancy, intermediate option protect against data center level failure recommended for high availability scenario. So by default, if I'm a production application, I would use GRS, right? Because it is recommended and at the same time protection against data center level failure. The second one, which is like this is very, very good, is optimal data protection solution that includes offering both GRS and GRS. So when you are in exam, they make questions about this too. They will ask you question. The only difference here, you can read from other setup. So make sure you do that. The reading part is different. It is different. So here it's a reading part is very different. And here you are getting failover and all. But here you get a read replica. That's the benefit. And this one is a combination of, you can see GRS also and ZRS. So you get both benefit here. So this both you get in one. Of course, it's expensive. So by default production perspective, people use this. But if your customers are divided among the world, right, then you use this. If customers are divided and you want to give them read access closer to their zone, read access closer to them, then you select that. Right? I'll show you picture wise how it happens. In a few minutes, I'll show you with the picture also. There is a picture which will help you. Right now, we can keep it like that. Now, see here, make read access data available in the event of region unavailability. So definitely that's fine. So first of all, let's go to advanced. Now, here you can see that there is one thing I want to make it public, which is here you go. Here, read this thing. Allow enabling anonymous access on individual container. Allow anonymous access. So what happened is the storage is like the container. Please pay attention. The storage is a container. Do you want other people to come and access this? So if you do that, there is a possibility. But when you do it, doesn't mean everything will be accessible. This is the storage level. Inside storage, you have blob and you have objects. You have to make that also accessible. But if you don't enable this, everything will be private. Make sense? So like example, I add my pictures. If I add my pictures, if anonymous access is not available, public, then people will not be able to access the picture. So I'll show you both. Right now, I'm not checking. Remind me that I'm not checking it. So what will happen? By default, it will make a private and I will not be able to share with you. So please remind me that, okay? Because sometimes, the Microsoft has a lot of options. It's pretty hard to find some options. So we are not doing that. Now, I don't think we are doing anything else. So let's continue. Networking. There is nothing special we are doing in that. So technically speaking, next. Now, data protection. This is very interesting. Please understand. There's a concept called soft delete. Data protection. Networking, we don't need anything. Data protection, there are two questions you will be asked in the exam. Relax and enjoy. One is a soft delete. So what do you soft delete means? Soft delete means if somebody delete this thing, please understand. If somebody delete that, then it is actually not deleted, but it is marked as a delete, as a mark as a delete. So data is still there, which you can do undelete or you can restore it back. Most companies use soft delete because it doesn't delete. But then if your period which you define, right, after that period, it will start deleting. So you can define the period, how long the data will remain after soft delete. So like example, if your file and if you delete, right, it goes to, in Windows, it goes to recycling bin, right? That's kind of soft delete one way because you have opportunity to undo. It's a good thing. So we'll keep it like that. Now, when you are doing this type of activity, you have to think about that. Do I want to delete? If not, you can use a concept called lock. So then no one can delete it. Make sense? If you do lock, no one can delete it. There is another concept called lease. Please pay attention. Another concept called lease. So like example, there is an object. Please pay attention. I can lease to Rajan. I can lease to Rajan. It means what? Now no one can delete. Rajan is using it. But in Rajan unrelease that, then I can delete it. So I'll show you that when I do lease and I'll try to delete, it will say you cannot delete because the object has a lease mark. So you can do that. So there are various ways you can protect. This is your kind of safe mode. In my understanding, is no brainer. You should always have a soft delete. And the last but not least, exam question. If I have a file, please pay attention. If I have a file name is A, and I change something and I add another file, same name, what will happen? Will it overwrite or will it maintain two copy, old copy and new copy? What do you think? File is A. I had old data. I made some changes and I again copy that. So will it overwrite the existing file or will it maintain two copies? What will happen?
It should give you an option that have the same
Mhm. So ask yourself a question. Same name, at same place, how many files you can have? Only one, technically, right? So there is a concept called versioning. Remember the word versioning. If you have enabled versioning, then it will maintain the history about the file, what you're changing, but files still remain one. Please understand, files still remain one, but there is a version maintained and you have a way to go back to the version. But if you don't do versioning, then it will overwrite the file. So good thing or bad thing? Versioning is good thing or bad thing? Good thing, but then version will cost you money because every time you change, it will create a version. So you can also maintain how many versions we need. Yes or no? Because if you continue lifetime, then it will be a huge expense. But it's certain important item, like example, resume. If you're doing resume or if you're doing some proposals, it's a good idea to have at least 5-6 versions. So I'll show you how versioning works also. Make sense? Or no? These are like minute detail, but if you do not understand what is versioning, they may ask, will it override? Then there will be option. If you enable the versioning, you will be able to do. Yes.
But we are in the storage account.
We are in storage also.
In the storage account, earlier when we did the example,
Disk. That's a disk.
We did not create the storage.
Yeah, because it's a disk.
So disk don't need
storage. The disk doesn't need storage. I'm going to do file share.
File, block,
table, queue. Yeah.
All those need storage.
Yep.
That's the first question.
Yep.
Second question is, all these things that we are talking about at the file level, whether the file has a version or not, that's a file level description, nothing to do with storage account, right?
If you ask me, the storage account is just a name. Under storage account, every small storage services, like example blob, they all follow the same thing. So whenever you say storage, you also think about that aspect. It's a storage account as such is not a service technically speaking, it's a container. But underneath this, when you say file, blob, table, they all follow the similar stretch. So concept remain applied to SEPs. Like when you say soft delete, you're applying to all, right? When you do storage account, it applies to all. But when you particularly use the file and apply to that particular service only. But concept still remain same. Right? So now let's go next. And here is the versioning. Are we clear why we use versioning, right? This versioning will allow you that you can have maintained the previous version. So we want to maintain the versioning.
So there is no versioning for.
It will, because remember file internally use blob. So it will maintain. So now let's go to next one. Now here, we don't want to do encryption. So we'll keep it like that. In case somebody asks, we are using by default Microsoft version because we don't know how to even use our key right now. So we'll keep it like that. Now let's go to review and create. We'll do review and then we'll create. I'm hoping that at this moment, you should have your storage account is in progress, right? It takes a minute to create the storage account and then let it create. So that way we can do the easy exercise. You see how smooth it's working because Microsoft has done storage service is one of the highest priority. Why? Because they believe data is any cost data should not be lost. What we are trying to do is like a file objects, but there is another service called data service, which is database service, which we'll learn later, where you can do SQL or you can do database like normal SQL. So Azure SQL, we'll talk about, that's a different service. Now it is ready. So let's click on go to resource. Go to resource. Now at this moment, you will see that your storage is ready. And on the left side, you will see there are 4 available: container, file share, queue, and table. We'll do file share and we'll take a break. Okay. That container has a blob. So you will see that. Good. Ready? I need like 5 minutes attention so we can do quickly file share and then we'll take a break. Okay. So let's click on file share. So when you click on file share need a container. Everyone need a container. So file share say, what is my container? So I'm going to create a container through file share. Container is nothing but master folder. So you can click on file share and give any name of your choice. So I'm going to give like my file share. Now there are a couple of options are there which we talk about in case if for that, what type of storage tier you want, right? Again, the premium is for this disk only. Yeah, cold is cheap. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, so you can see hot we talk about, cold we talk about, right? So right now we are keeping like that. Make sure you play around this number because these are the things they ask in the exam. See, Microsoft exam, technically speaking, easy if you do the lab. That's why my focus is lab oriented rather than PowerPoint oriented, because this type of, they will ask what is hot, what is cold, which level, they will ask tier. Remember the tier. This is called storage tier, right? We are not doing anything, just review and create. Review and create. So it will create a folder. Basically, it doesn't do anything. It just review and again create. So you will have only folder. It may take hardly a minute. So now you have storage, and inside storage you have folder. Let me know if you say yes, you are done. You will see something like this.
You don't do anything on the background?
No, nothing. Ready? Now, what is this right now? What we did, we created just like a one small, what do you call file share. Now let's click on connect. Click on connect. There are two ways you can do. Please pay attention. Just to, I want my Windows machine, which I create, to mount this thing. And then we'll try to do upload it from our local machine and see if it comes. From window it comes. We want to see, is it working or not? That's what we want to try. Okay. So let's do connect. So when you do connect, Microsoft gives you right script for operating system perspective, Windows, Linux, and Mac. So we'll say show script. So ship script. So it gives me a lot of command, huge command, right? Are you guys with me so far? Yeah. Now go copy this thing. So you can just click here, this copy icon, and copy that. Copy that. So you're copying this, what do you call the share command. This is a PowerShell script because we want to do mount, and Microsoft gives you help. So you now go back to your Windows, and search PowerShell. Search PowerShell.
So this command.
I'm mounting. Yeah, I have to do it myself rather than myself. I'm borrowing the command. Yeah. So go to Windows and click on search and search PowerShell, and right click on it and say run as admin. Make sure you follow the correctly. Search power and then PowerShell run as admin. Right? So you get a blue screen. Yeah, you will see the blue screen. Good so far? Then you just right click, it will start running your command. Give a couple of minutes, it will run that. So right click, because you copy that, right? You right click, it will start working on it. So what will happen? It will try to establish the connections. Something is wrong. No, it's successfully. Huh? It says error, but anyway, press enter, so it's successful. And now, if you see in your file share, you will see file share added. Did you notice that? Do you guys see this? This is added because of this command, right? Now let's create a temporary file. People on phone, are you guys following me or any problem? Give me some thumbs up so at least I know. Okay, perfect. So I created a file share. Now we want to store one file. Please follow me. So click on the, sorry, my mistake. Click on the search and search Notepad. And just write one line inside, test data or something. Right? And do file save. So file save, and you save into that shared drive. the file which you just did. So now it's available to your machine. You can just add that. So I'll say data. I added data. File name is data. We can give any name, doesn't matter. So that file which you just created, you just store in your file share. If you double click on that, you will see that file in your Windows machine. You can see that file in your Windows machine. This file I shared here. Yes or no? Rajan? Yeah. Now, if you go back to portal, and if you go to click on browse, that file is visible. Yes or no? Click on browse, that file is visible. Good.
Once you're saying the
save into your shared drive, this drive here. Ola, see here. When you save this file, save as, and then you select your drive, CPC, this drive, the drive which we mounted. Did you mount or no? Hello? Remember we did a PowerShell, we say search PowerShell, right click. Did you do or no?
yeah, I did.
Then you should see this, the mount point, no? Remember we did PowerShell, this one? Did you get success? Then you should see that things visible.
You not save it on the file. You need to share the file on. Sure, this is it.
Just save as.
I can save as. Select that and then put a name. No?
Give a name, any name, doesn't matter.
Save RD. You should see. Then you come to the.
Once you go to your Azure portal, just click on browse and that file should be visible. Good.
Go to PC, click on that, you to select that. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, Mike, but I just wanna, Ola, ready?
Your file.
Ola, now pick up the pace. We have 1 minute to go and then we'll take a break. Okay. Let's do, now I'm in my laptop. You guys do in your laptop, right? See, these are easy things. We are not doing anything special, easy things. Write any file of your choice. So like example, sample file. Any file and save it. File save as, put somewhere in desktop or download folder. I'm in my laptop, okay? Please understand right now. I'm in my laptop. I'm creating a new file through Notepad and Notepad or anything, doesn't matter. Create a file and now file save as. I can, wherever I want, I can save. So I'm going to save here, let's say sample, my file under download folder, So please understand, I'm my laptop. In my laptop, I created a Notepad file and give a name sample, which I store under my laptop download. So I store it. Now using upload, I can upload that and that file will go to that Windows machine as well. So far, you guys with me? Now let's do upload quickly. Click on upload. And when you click on upload, you have option to upload. So I'm going to click on browse. Click on browse and double click on sample file and upload. So now you will see that file here. Yes or no? So you can easily see this file. Now, please pay attention. This file, I just uploaded. But if I go to my Windows, the cloud Windows machine, that file is also available here. Do you see that? In the cloud VMs, which we created, the file is also available. right? So let's take a small ball, our storage that we will use a website. And for website, we need to enable that this is going to be a static web hosting. When I say hosting, it means nothing but location or place or folder. So we'll do static hosting. Now for static hosting, it will create a special folder called web folder like that. It will create a static web folder. And inside that web folder, we can put all our HTML files. We can do that. But problem remains our storage is private at this moment. So what will happen? It won't work. Storage is not going to work because it's a private. So we might have some issues as we go further. We will not be able to access, but then we'll make it public and we'll enable through configurations. So we'll enable through configuration. No, make it public. So when we make a public, because website has to be public, right? Otherwise no one will be able to access. So when we make a public, we should be able to access it. So we are going to do this setup type of thing.
This is not using the.
No, this is in Azure portal. We will do that. So I'm sure you will understand. So how and why we do that? So first of all, nowadays, people don't have time to do domain purchase, right? Like example, I want to create my mom and pop website, or I want to do intranet application website, right? Where people can see, find, search, and share some pictures, some movies, some like those. So it's very, what you call popular use case where you can have document sharing, picture sharing, certain things. It's quick and easy. You can do that. So for that, let's jump into our Azure portal. Go back to Azure portal and go to storage. So we'll go back to our storage. So I'm going to go to our storage, which is, this is my storage, right? So I'm going to click on the storage. Let's go to storage. So you go to storage. Good so far? Now, in order for us to create a website, we have to do a lot of this thing here. But good news, a very nice, simple option. So please understand. You are selecting storage. Make sure you see on the screen all the time, storage, and we are going to select data management static website. So we're going to click on that static website. Now, when we click on static website, it will give me options, which is nothing but simple options. What is your home page and what is the error page? So click on it. I'm hoping all of you are following. If you're not following, hello, Ola. Yes, if you're not following, just right away tell me. But if you don't give me response, because these are like 8 or 10 steps, right? We might be in trouble. And I really want you to have a successful lab, okay? And the best way to do successful lab is pay attention and give some acknowledgement. So static website, we are here. Now, when I click on the static website, we have to enable that. So when I enable that, I have two options. Now, those who know website, by default website have some index.html as a home page, right? Every website, if you look at google.com, Amazon, first page is the index.html or home.html, but you need some HTML page. And if somebody make mistake, you need a error page. So you need 2 pages by default for website, and you can add more, but time being, we're going to add 2 pages. Now, do we have 2 pages? No. So I don't want you to type. I'm going to write, paste it in a Google class, so you will have access. Because if you type, you kind of type incorrectly, we'll have trouble. Both file I will create in my laptop. I use word laptop, so you can understand. Both file I'm going to create a laptop. One file I'll create index.html. I'm hoping everyone is understanding, right? And one I'll create error.html, right? And then I'll put this file in Google class. So this way you have access to that file. Then you create as fast as you can because you know how to store, how to do and all. Then I'll show you how to upload this file into our web folder, right? Web folder, right? And it should work. It may take hardly 4 minutes. Okay. See what I do. First, you also type index.html and error.html. Just type. Make sure spelling is correct because this is something it will look for. index.html, error.html. Now, if you know a little bit website, you can go crazy. You can do as much as you can, but time being, we are just creating index.html, error.html. Do I have to write? Can I write something else? Yes, you can write whatever you want. This will be your first page, and this is your error page. You can write whatever you want, right? But it is a kind of common practice in industry. So now we're gonna save this thing. So we're gonna save it here. So when we did save, we told that, hey, this website will have 2 pages. Though I don't have it, we'll add it, no problem. Save it. Was it hard so far? Now you will see our website. You will see website URL. That is same as our bucket. In our case is a storage, right? Same as that. So you can see here primary point and secondary point. I'm going to pick primary one, right? Control C, copy that, and then keep in a safer place. So you don't have to look around that. And I will also copy secondary and keep it in a safer place. So you don't have to keep looking this place because you might, switching back and forth so many things. Right? I normally keep it in Notepad. So my, easy way to format a node. Now copy the primary one and try to go to the tab and go to primary, copy the primary one. Please follow the flow. Copy the primary one and go to Google and create a new tab and paste it. It will not work. It will not work, right? So please copy the primary URL. Please copy the primary URL and paste this thing on your Google Chrome new tab. In Google Chrome, create a new tab and paste it, and you should get 404. 404 means page not found. 404 means page not found, which is obvious. We don't have that page. Do you guys agree? Right? Okay, perfect. Now give me 2 minutes. I'm going to write code for you and then you will do, but I want you to see what I do. So I'm going to create simple hello world HTML. So please see on the screen. I'll say these are HTML, start with HTML, end with HTML. Again, very simple, easy code I'm writing. These are tag or HTML command. You don't need to know about it. This is just information that there is the HTML command. Now here I'm going to say, hey, H1 means big heading. Hello. I'll say, hello, Tom. You will write your name, right? Hello, Tom. And this is my index. So this is where I will know that I'm coming from index. This is my index.html, very simple index.html. Makes sense. Now I'm going to save this file. Please pay attention. Save as. Please pay attention. Save as. But when you save, double quotation, index.html. Make sure you do double quotation. Double quotation because your extension has to be HTML. So index.html. Index.html. You can save in your laptop. So I saved it. Now I'm going to save another file and I'll say, hello, Tom. Instead of hello, Tom, I'll say, oops, right? Oops. And I'll say, this is error, just for knowledge purpose, right? Yes or no? And I'll say file, save as, in double quotation. What should I say? Error.html. And I'm going to give you this code in your Google Class. Just 1 minute and you will have access to that code. I'll put it under PowerPoint so that way it's all available. Please, error.html. This is your code. And the next code is index.html. Easy. Let's see, where did it copy? Here we go. Put in download and index.html. Open with. I'll open here. It's easy this way. File, open. Index.html, right? So I will be posting it, and once I post it, you create these 2 files in your local machine. Make sure extension is proper, right? I updated PowerPoint. Take a look and you have code there. Go to Google Class. Please go to Google Class. Go to refresh your Google Class. First, you have to refresh your Google Class. Refresh your Google Class and go to Azure week 3. Go to Azure week 3 or 4, I think 4. And in PowerPoint, you have that. Week 4, storage, right? Under PowerPoint, you have that code. Please create these 2 files quickly. Copy this content in Notepad and save as. Remember, save as wherever you want to save, but make sure you save as in double quotation. First one is error.html, and again save as double quotation index.html.
Put it in the power, right? So
PowerPoint. Refresh the screen. Yeah, week 4. You need 2 files. One is error.html and one is index.html. Give me thumbs up once you're done. Good. Good. Awesome. Imagine you are good. Now, please understand. You have to follow the flow. And if you follow the flow, you will see what I'm trying to explain. I scroll up a little bit. And there is if I scroll up a little bit, see a browser, storage browser. Click on it. Storage browser. Right? And click on it. So what will happen? You will see all those details. We have to look for blob container. Look for blob container. So storage blob container. And you will see somewhere $web. Do you see that? Storage blob browser. Look for blob container and you will look for $web. Yes, Rajan? Now, please, this is like a very simple but easy step. Follow the properly. Click on web. So we are going inside this folder. We're going to go inside. So we go inside. Now here, I want your help. OK, you need to upload both files. So click here, upload both files, index.html and error.html. So click upload and just upload one by one or two together. Doesn't matter. So click on browse. Remember, we are doing upload. We selected $web and we went, first we selected $web. Now we are clicking on upload. And now in upload, I'm going to do browse files, right? And I'm going to browse both files. So I click on it and I highlight both at the same time. I highlight same, upload. And you select both file and open it and upload. You can select at once both file and it is uploaded. Give me thumbs up if you are able to upload. Good. Now, remember we tried 1 second before, like refresh, try to refresh the page and it is showing up. Did you notice that? Did you notice? Hello. And if you write here, Ola, Ola is not there. Yes or no? So it will give me error page. Pretty cool. So website in few minutes. Was it hard at all? Right? You remember we copied this thing. Now You can try secondary also, and it should work. Perfect, right? And you can write here, let's say Rajan. Rajan is not there, so it will give me error, because if page is not there, it automatically pick up error. So static website, easy. Any questions so far? People on phone. Creating static website, very simple, 2 steps, and we are good there. You just, first thing you need to do is create a static website. As soon as you do that, you get a web folder. You go to web folder by storage browser, you go through the web folder, and then you upload your file. Now I can upload as many HTML I want, and those pages can inter-refer, and I can have a nice website. It's free. You know that static website is free. They only charge only blob storage, which is significantly cheaper. So if you have like just like family pictures or something, and you want to maintain history or share, you can do that. Easy. Sorry? Log files maintain like who is accessing what. So if you click on that, you will see access. Right now, anything you want. Like example, who access, what they access, you can configure that. So in that case, you can log, like in a company, when you use exactly. So some info, it will not store username and password, but it will store who is accessing from where they access. So you can do that. Good. So far, are we doing fantastic? Everyone is happy? Now let's move to the next topic. This topic, let me draw it, which is called blob. Or we will try to do blob. So we are creating a blob storage. Now blob storage go through the 2-step approach. First, you have to create container, just like you did for file sharing. You create a container and then you upload file inside. It's not a special thing, but we'll try to do version management. We'll see how it works, and we'll try to access that page through URL. So please understand, whenever you are creating a blob, blob, it first create a container. So you create a container. Inside container, any object you put, any file you put, that is object, which is publicly accessible through URL. You can access to the URL, but by default, it's protected. So we will try to understand permission part, how to give permission so we can access that. And the second thing, we will try to change the same file. Please pay attention. We'll try to change the file and content, change the content of the file, and we'll see, is it maintaining version or not? Make sense? So we'll try to do that. It's simple. It may take 10 minutes. So let's follow the flow. So go back to your Azure portal. And you can see here on your left side, you have container. This is nothing but your blob storage. So you can click on container. So here we are going to click on we are going to create our own container. Ready? This container, we can give any name. So you can give any name. So for me, I'm going to create a test, test. Now there are options I will call advanced. You can see here, we are not really using any of the options, so I'm not going to do that. So just test and create. It takes hardly less than a few seconds, and it will create. What is container? It's just like a logical group. It's just a folder. It has nothing. Now click inside, click on the test. So you go inside. Click on test and you go inside. At this moment, are you guys with me so far? Rajan, right? Now, I want to show you something very interesting. This will be a question in your exam. Access permission, okay? So the way you will do is, right now we are going to upload index.html in this folder. So we're going to use upload, and we'll try to upload index.html. Okay, so let's do so. So click on upload. Ready? Upload, and then browse and select index.html. Double click it and upload. Ready? So I'm hoping that should not be difficult part.
Same part, sorry.
We only one file, index.html. It can be any file. Let me repeat. It can be any file, but I'm uploading index.html. So this is called object, right? Now we use, right, blob, right? Binary large object, right? We call blob. So what is this thing is, this file is surrounded with container. So that container, the container which we have here, it's a blob. This is the object. And on top of that, we have a storage account. So this is what we have, storage account. Storage account has a blob container, and blob container has an object. So if I want my friends to access my page, I want to give them a link. This is not a website. This is a link of this object. By default, Azure gives you every file or objects, anything you add in a blob container, it gives you a URL so you can access it. So we'll try to see, can we access it? If not, what's the problem and how do we fix it? So that way you will learn permission control. Okay. So let's click on this index.html. This is our object. Click on it. So you will get a property of that object. So far, so good. Now you see on the top, there is a URL. You can click on the copy. So URL will be copied. And go to Google tab. Go to Google and open a new tab. And try to access and see what you do, what you get. Do you have permission denied? Say yes or no. Yes or no. It's okay to say.
Yes.
This will be a question, guaranteed question in the exam. By default, DD. So now our mission is to how to make this accessible. So there are two things to do. One is our object has to be public. So now I'm going to show you only 2 clicks and it will work. But those 2 clicks are pretty important because you will be doing often, right? So let's go back to Azure. I'm not able to access that. So first thing, I need to go back to my storage. Let me go back to my container. So I'll go to container. Please follow me. Go to test container. So in test container, you can see here, I have a change access level. Do you guys see that? If you click on that, it will have a gray color. I mentioned when we did the exercise, when we started, that it will be a gray color and you need to remind me. Did I say that? What was that? Because when we created storage account, we say anonymous access not permitted. Did we say that? Yes or no? So public anonymous access is not permitted. It means automatically become private. And if it is private, you cannot access through URL, because URL anybody can access means a public access. So how do we solve this?
This is about the storage account.
It has both storage account and object, because storage account you can make, see, this is what I, you can say library. Library is public, yes or no? But in library there are room, and that room can be protected. Yes or no? You can come to library, but you can't just go to the room. You need permission. So you need 2-level permission. Storage level permission.
We need to spend this question.
Correct.
Storage account, we said it's private.
Correct. Yeah. So I have to configure storage account first, and then I have to configure these things. So 2-step. Clear? So let's go back to this time. I'm going to click on the storage account. So this is my storage account. Right? Click on it. So when you click on storage account, if you scroll down, there should be a configuration. Did you find it? If you scroll down, you will see configuration. Click on it. Microsoft's biggest challenge is so many options, right? You go crazy. It's pretty hard to memorize all, but because you are going for certification, this kind of question they will ask you. Where you enable, where you disable. So only way you can answer is because you are doing lab. So if you see here, there are options available here, and look for the options. Allow blob anonymous access. Do you see that? Make it enable. See here, this one. Right now it's disabled. We need to make it enable. Doable? Easy? After you do that, make sure you save it. I don't know why they did not do proper way, but normally they should not do this way. Sometime, you will not even notice that. You can switch in, it doesn't tell me. So make sure you save it. So right now,
hold on. Can you go back? Because I think I got a different screen than you did.
Straightforward. Go to storage account first. Make sure you go to storage account, not a blob, storage account. And then scroll down and then look for configurations. And then scroll a little bit down. You have to scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
And don't forget, okay, this one we change it. This will allow me public access, but this is a storage level, okay? So now, please understand, I have my link here. I'm going to refresh it. Does it work? No, still doesn't work, right? So that one level change does not have. It means, listen carefully, storage account can allow, but still you have to go through blob level, right? So now let's go to Azure. Now go to your, scroll up a little bit. So you can go to browser, storage browser. I'm hoping everyone is following. And now storage browser through, we can go to our blob. So you can click here and let's go to blob. Blob container. I'm hoping you're following me. And blob container to click on test. I'm hoping everyone is following. Storage browser. This is our storage account. Through we went to blob container. Through there we went to test, right? And in test, you go and now you will have access change processability. So what you can do here, I'm going to select this particular object. I'm going to select particular object here. I select that and I'm saying, hey, I want to change the permission. So now this time it does allow me, and I'm going to say anonymous read-only access. Rajan? Yeah. Block because the anonymous access disabled at the store. Oh, I did that, right? Save that. Or maybe I didn't save that while I was talking to maybe refresh issue. When I was explaining to Mike, I thought I saved it.
You did.
Hmm?
With that option, if you click,
What?
okay, it saves.
It did?
Yeah.
1 second. Sorry for that. No worries. I'll quickly go there. So it should save. So taste, right?
Yeah.
Now change the options. We did that, right? And now, okay, right? Perfect. Now if you refresh, it should work. Was it difficult? People on phone, I'm hoping everyone is able to do. Good, very good. Thank
I
you.
got the same message that you did, but it sounded like it described it that it wouldn't display.
Yeah, but it worked. It worked. It worked after. Could you go back? Just what I did, Mike. I also had the same problem. So I just refreshed. Went to again storage. Went there, and try again, and I save it, and then refresh. It worked.
What I mean is, I did the same thing, but I posted in the chat the message that I got, which you got the same one, but it just sounds like, or it reads as if you're not gonna work.
Yeah, it sometimes refresh issue. It refresh, but did it work for you or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes my Azure has a refresh issue. You will see a lot of peculiar problem because of the refresh issue, because I also experienced that. So we are doing fantastic so far. Now let's let me go back. I want to show you the change management, right? So let's click here. Before I do that, I want to show you the lease part. Ready? Rajan? So why don't you click on index.html? Sorry, my mistake. Let's go to test. Sorry for that. So I'm in a storage browser. Let me go back to storage browser and a test. I'm going to click on test. Now, and click on your file. Now you can see here there's an option called acquire lease. So I'm clicking on acquire list. So when I do acquire list, see here what happened. I did acquire list. There's nothing special. It just instantly give me success, that successfully acquired. Okay. Now I cancel it and I'm trying to delete this file. So please understand, I have here. Now I'm trying to delete this file, but I don't know how to delete now. Delete is grayed out. Do you see that? And I can't just do anything. Why? Because when somebody acquired, then it makes this file is not deletable because that guy has a lock. Make sense? So this will be a question also in the exam. When you do acquired lease, can you delete? Answer is no. Everything is still gray out. So what should I do? So the only solutions you have is the break lease. As soon as you break lease, then it will be gray. It becomes normal and you can delete it. Make sense? Good. Now, one more thing we want to cover is the change management. So for that, let's go to our file share. I think that would be easier to do file share. Rajan, you are with me? Yeah. So let's go to file share. And in file share, you have my file share. And here you have browse. So click on browse. So you have two files. Good so far. Now here I have data txt. I'm going to click on that. And I can, 1 second, I don't have that options here. So I'm trying to, 1 second, my screen. Let's go to blob. I think it will be easier that way because I need that option. So let's go to, again, container. Sorry for that. Go to container and go to test, the file where we were before. It will come and it will come here. Now 1 second. I'm just trying to give you that thing.
All the files in the file share don't have the option to do version.
No, we did version management, right? We did, I think.
File share, you don't have an option, but it has to block. Click on that, you have a version.
Yeah, that is what I'm looking for. How come I am not seeing that?
Triple boot up.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me refresh. Let me.
I see it in the triple boot up.
Yeah, just 1 second. I'll jump into that. Okay, 1 second. Container. It is normally show up on the top. You here? Yeah, so let me go there. It should show up here actually.
Go to that, click that triple button, you see the option.
Let's do this thing, view edit. For some reason my screen doesn't show this option here, but anyway, let's do view edit. Sorry, my mistake, view edit. No, view edit here. You have version? You have different thing?
No, you have view version. Oh, there is a view version. Yeah.
Where?
This is where your,
Yeah, those supposed to be here actually. You're not getting here. Anyway, it will come. So let's do view edit. Yeah, this is what I want, but normally it should come in the middle. So I'm going to change a little bit. Just add something here. Just add something, right? And then save it. My screen a little bit changed basically. So just add something, whatever you want. Just change something and now click on save. So when you do that save, this is what I wanted to see, which is supposed to come on the middle, but it's not coming. But anyway, save it. So at this moment, I save it. Now, if I go to version, I get one version, which is the latest. But if you see this slider, if you slide this thing, you will see both versions. So if you see here, previous version and current version. Make sense or no? Because I saved it. Under version. Under version. So
but how did you get to that?
yeah, so you add it, right? After you edit, you save it. And then the version tab is here. People on phone, are you guys able to get it or no?
See your version.
So it's still the same version ID, but it doesn't overwrite it.
No, it has a different version ID. Version ID, see, hello. It does, the only way it shows like a previous and current, it has two versions, previous and current. Current one will be visible to you, and the previous one will be available but hidden. So right now changing 33, I save it, check it out. So I saved, so I have now two versions. So if I go to version, right, see, I can see both versions now.
Second level of menu item.
That is where I also have a problem. This is supposed to be in the middle. This menu supposed to be in the middle. Maybe my screen resolutions are pushing that, but I'm hoping everyone is able to see that. Right? You can edit as many times as you want, and every time you add, it maintains the timestamp and version. So this way you can see version IDs keep changing, and then you can download that file, upload this file, delete whatever you can do that. But basically your data is maintained, and you are not going to overwrite the existing file because you have version enabled. Good so far?
John, if you go to the source admin,
Where should I go?
and on the full button, you have the version.
Here? Then use that, whichever works. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I can get that, but.
No problem. It is going to happen because of the real estate. Now let's do, I have two more exercises to do. I hope we can do it quickly. So now, please follow me. We are going to do replicate. Replicate. So please understand. Hello, see on the screen, replicate. It means we are going to have two storage accounts. One is a source storage account, and one is the destination storage account. And then we can replicate the data. So right now we already have storage account. Do you guys agree? So we'll create a destination, and then we will try to replicate our test, test blob object, whatever we have, right? We try to replicate it. So at least you understand the process. And the last but not least, I'll show you LCM, lifecycle management, and then we'll be done for the day. Okay. There is a
Storage account.
yes. So, but you can filter what blob you wanna replicate. You can also filter what specific prefix you wanna replicate. So example, document or images like that. So you will see that as it's too simple exercise. Yeah, so what we'll do, the best way to do is normally what I do is I copy the Azure URL. Please try to understand. I copy the Azure URL. And so one is like, I keep it in source side because you have to back and forth, you will go crazy. So I copy this whole Azure URL and open a new tab, and I create here destination storage. Okay. I'm two tab. Yeah, two portal view. One, the original one, I'll keep it as like my original source. This is my source where my websites and everything was there. This is my source, right? And now I copy this URL. And I went to the new tab, and over there, I'm creating a new storage account. Let's quickly create that. So storage account. I click on storage account. Now here, I'm going to click on create. And then here, I'll give her some name, which I'm going to give destination. So I'll say destination. I'm creating destination storage account. So I'll say Tom 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So again, you can give any name of your choice. Oh yes, sorry, my mistake. Resource group 6, we'll keep it 6. Good so far? Ready? Hello. Now go to advanced. Here I'll do allow anonymous access by default because I want to do the the access. So we'll do that. Now that part is done. Now there is nothing special we are going to do. So I'm not going to do anything here. I'll just say review and create, review and create, review and create.
Sorry.
You don't have to do anything. Just review and create. There is nothing.
Check that storage account. Edit.
On the first screen, enable anonymous access. It's on first screen itself. It's that, and the first screen only.
Second one. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, quickly do it because this exercise may have a little challenge because of time nature. Okay. Now go to that destination. Please follow the flow. Go to destination storage so we can create a block there. So go to storage. We are in destination. Okay. Now we are going to create a container here. So click on container. Please follow the flow. Click on container. And here I'll click on container. Let's say test one. So just as a knowledge proper, test one. And I'll create it. That's all I need. So basically, let me just draw the picture. Please, you can visualize. So I created a destination storage account. I created a container test one. Right now, this side on our side we have primary, which is the our in case our source, and we have container. Right. So now I want to replicate it here. How can I replicate? That's what we're going to learn. So now we are going to go to source. Make sure you see on the screen, understand. We are going to source. We are going to configure the replication rule. Please understand. We are going to configure the replication rule so that way data can replicate. Okay, it may not replicate instantly, but then after 5-6 minutes, you will see the replication part. Ready? Now I'm switching my Azure. Make sure you understand this basic understanding that I'm going to source. Otherwise, you will be confused. Okay. I'm going to source. And if you scroll down a little bit, you have many options. And there is another option called object replication. Object replications. See, this type of thing you cannot learn by reading. You have to do it. Okay. Object replication. Now it says, do you have that? So create application rule. So I'm going to create application rule. Okay. Now you click on it and it will give me which is the destination storage we do have, if you remember. So we select that. Right. This is no brainer technically. Yes or no? And now here saying which is the storage test, which is the destination test one. Make sense? Now here, make sure you see on the screen again. You will say, huh, what did you do? See here, this is the source. Their container, destination, its container, only new. I don't want to do new. I will say all. So I'll click on change. See on the screen, please. Click on change and I'll say all, everything. Or I can say custom if I want to select it. But right now we'll do everything. Custom, you get a prefix, right? Save it. And then you create it. Click on create. So what happens is you establish the rule. And it should replicate after a few minutes. So just to create, it will work. It won't happen instantly, but you need to do prayer and all kind of thing. It will work. It doesn't give me the timeline. It doesn't give me timeline that it will replicate in 10 seconds and all. It just works. You will see in a few minutes. So right now the rule is there. It does give me clear picture that source and destination. And destination is nothing but our other Azure view, which is here. So I will click on here, test one. And if I refresh here, if I get data, then it replicated. It's gonna take a time. Okay. Meantime, I'll complete LCL. Any questions so far with the replication part? It will take its own time. Okay. There is no force I can do. It will take its own time, but in a few minutes you will see something. Okay. Let's go back to our source. Let it play. You know, we have some content in test. Yes or no? We had index.html. So technically, let's go to source and play something so we can force a little bit. So let's go to test. This is our source container. Let's go there and let's upload one more file. So we're going to upload one more file. This time I'm going to upload in error.html. I'm in a source. Okay. I'm in a source. I'm under test, right? I'm going to upload error.html this time. Browse error.html and upload. So technically speaking, my source has two files, right? This is my source storage account. This is my container. I have two files. This is new file. And this is the old file, right? At this moment, can I assume we have two files, right? Now go back to your destination and see, refresh. If you're lucky, still we are not lucky. Okay, give a couple of minutes maybe. It's there. You got it? Oh, look at that. Today is a lucky day. Huh? Any question with respect to replication? This was question in my exam, that when you replicate, what are the two things you need? Storage account and container. Do you guys agree? Because without that, it is not allowing me.
File share you don't have.
File share is different concept. Okay. Now go back. One last thing before we close our day. Go back to your primary and go to your source storage account. Click here. And I want to do life cycle management. Just 2 minutes and we are done. So I'm in a source storage account. If you scroll down, there is one thing called lifecycle management. You will see it went up. Yes, here you go. So you can see here lifecycle management. This will be a question in the exam. Can you do autopilot? Autopilot means storage tier, hot, cold, archive. You can automatically rotate that and it can reduce the cost. So they may ask question, how do you minimize the cost while you're using Azure storage? The correct answer is lifecycle management. So you click on lifecycle management and then you just follow the rule. So let me set the rule for you. So I'm in a lifecycle management and I click on add rule. Add rule. This is pretty simple step-by-step process. Now you're saying, what is the rule name? So I'll say like a rule 1, just example, rule 1. You're saying where to apply. So apply to all blob, apply to limited, where you can apply filter. I'm going to apply to all, but you can apply to filter by prefix and all. Now it says where to apply. Now please understand, if you apply to version, then all version will be replicated, which is kind of bad. And if you want to apply to base, then it will do primary to primary, means new latest file only it will do that. So you have choice. If you want to take a deep archive versus, deep archive versus like a shallow archive. Shallow means like just take the latest. We'll keep it basic. We don't want to do that. We are learning the process here. So next, now it is asking condition here, programming condition. Please understand. If blob were last modified or created. So they're asking what you want to do, modified or created. You pick one of them. So I'll say, let's say modified. More than 10 days ago. So if I say 10, it means if any file I have here, blob, which I modified 10 days ago, then those are candidates will be going to the next tier. Okay. Then what should we do? So there are options here. Move to, this is initially definitely the one is the hard one. So from hard, where you want to move. So normally you go to one level down, which is we can say move to cold storage, which will be infrequent. So you select this move cold like that. So you can see now another rule they give me. Do you want to do? So I'll say add condition. So you can add another condition. Now last modified. So this one, see here, you are doing this one now. Move cold, last modified, and then 10 days, right? Then you are going for the next one, which is the cold. It automatically understood that now from cool, you are going to cold. And you can keep adding if you want to. Make sense or not? And now click on add. So this way, your lifecycle rule is set up and Azure will manage this thing. Basically, it will save you the cost. That's pretty much it. Will you lose data? No. If you access anytime, you will get back data. Questions, concerns, doubt?